let me request leading states of the leading state of the country in e-governance, two officials from Karnataka here. So let me request Dr. Mamatha to speak about the e-governance initiatives.
I hope it's, yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. I think the panel is all about what is the future. We've discussed what we are at 75 and what can be done and what is the future. First of all, I'd like to impress upon everyone here, the panelists and everybody else, collaboration is the future, because we are already, and this is in terms of, with reference to Karnataka and every other state. Whatever I'm speaking is not just, while every state would like to call themselves as a leading state, because everybody is making some initiative or the other. Some have gone a little further, some are just trailing, but everybody is doing something or the other. So every one of us feel we are doing the best. But what the future calls for is collaboration among states, among departments within the state. Like our colleague here, young colleague here just mentioned, yes, we have somewhere forgotten the citizens in our hurry or in our interest to become the number one in e-governance. We have forgotten the citizen themselves. And what are we doing it for all? All this is for governance, and the most important stakeholder in all this is the citizen. So what we should look for in the future is citizen centricity. How many states can say they have done a need assessment? There's no study which has gone in for need assessments. That's what we have started doing in Karnataka. And with the need assessment comes what we can do and how we need to do it. We also understand that with all the initiatives, we need to know whether this citizen is satisfied with what we are giving them. So a satisfaction or a happiness index is something that we need to do. And like our friend here was saying, when we talk about citizen centricity, what is that we should be doing? We should look at easy access to citizen, affordability, whatever we are providing to him should be affordable to him, and with less invasive technology. What I'm trying to say is his privacy. We have to appreciate his privacy and to protect his privacy. And with all that he's giving us, we have to also make sure that all the data that we've collected is secure. This is the most important thing for the future. In our mad race towards becoming number one, we forget that whatever we are holding, data is the key. Data becomes the key. And this data is so important that we should ensure that we share the data amongst ourselves. That is where I said collaboration. A citizen should not be made to enter data more than once. A single sign-on, as our friend clearly said. And probably, Addl, or, in Karnataka we have something called Kutumba, which will it's a kind of a repository, a major, is a master data repository is what I'd like to call. So sharing of this data between departments, interoperable systems, where, as you rightly said, should speak to each other, share the data, so that we don't burden him every time he needs to do something with us. After all, why does a citizen come to us? He comes to us willingly only at two accounts. One is when he needs a benefit. Two is when he has a grievance. Third time that he comes is when he is made to come for some regulatory thing which we require and not him so much. So, when he comes to us for delivery of services, should we not ensure it is end to end? That he is not burdened at any time to be able to go to different agencies with different data? Can't we not pull information that we require to provide him one service from another service? Like for example, we need to give the caste certificate, we would require his income certificate. Could we not pull it from our system? Why do we ask him to go and get it? Right now the situation is that. So the future I look at is, to have data taken one time, sharing of data, a collaboration within state and collaboration between states, and easy delivery of service, time-bound delivery of service, and it's easily delivered, which he can access several times, probably a DigiLocker or something like that. And for whatever authentication you want to do it with dignity, probably Addl or anything else which can verify his authenticity. In Karnataka, we are moving towards unified land management system, wherein we get data from the land data management system. And when he goes for registration, we authenticate it with that. We check on his personal data through Addl or any other enabled system. Once he registered, the further transaction or mutation, as we call it, will again be triggered from within the registration system itself, which moves towards the system. So unified land management. So several systems like this, getting all the data onto a master data management system like Kutumba, will enable us to understand whether the beneficiary has got a house. If not, could he not be given the house? Does he have some other facility? Should he not be given? So it will be an intelligent system which will prompt to us to take decisions on the various benefits, while preventing duplication, same beneficiary getting the same benefit twice. At the same time, the government resources are spent towards, for how many, 75 years we've been giving houses, we've been giving benefits, we still haven't done 100%. Why is that? So there is some kind of leakage somewhere that it plugs those leakages. So the government resources get used properly, and the government, as somebody said, less government, more governance is achieved. I don't know how many of you saw this film, Net. The Net. Yeah, the Net. It's a film, but it really sets you thinking. What I'm getting towards is the privacy and the security of data. In this film, the protagonist is a lady who stumbles upon some irregularities happening. So they need to somehow neutralize her. So at the back end, her total identity is changed, because all data is with government. So they change her identity, and she gets hounded by police for some serial murders or something which she has not committed. And she somehow has to prove to the rest of the world, her identity. So we may end up with a situation like that, because so much data is lying everywhere. So it needs to be secure. It needs to provide that kind of feeling of security to people also, who are willingly giving or unwillingly giving us a lot of data. When Alvin Toffler wrote 2 books in the 90s, The Future Shock and the Third Wave, people were very skeptic. They said his imagination is too vivid. But when we look at ourselves today, we are living it. We are living what he wrote. So tomorrow, we may live a situation where government may operate, I mean, like somebody was saying, faceless and nameless. Government and public may not definitely not have contact, but will provide better governance. That is the future of what I would think of digitization, where we are able to do a process management, understand where we are wrong. Somebody, so intelligent system which picks up and says where, how much of time. Like right now you have these watches which tell you exactly how you utilized your time in terms of exercise or health or whatever it is. Future we may have those systems which will tell how a government officer or a person has utilized his time and how much of time has been utilized productively and how much of time has been lost. So that kind of predictive technology and through can come in also, which will help us deliver better services to public and to give better governance. And I'm sure the rest of the panel, esteemed panel, will throw more light and open up a better discussion. Thank you very much.